Hey, what's up, you guys? My name is Wolf, and we are back with another episode of LEGO Arts. So, in the last episode, we did a showcase on the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and this episode, we are doing a solo fig showcase featuring Kratos from God of War, the Greek Saga. So we have the remake of young Kratos from God of War 3 in a brand new look, a brand new detailing and everything. And I'm gonna be honest, like, at first I was saying that I was proud of the other Kratos before, but looking at this one in the end result of it, I gotta say that this one is a huge improvement from the other one. And we'll explain a little bit more about that as we go on. So this was honestly a figure, though, that I wasn't planning on remaking at first. Like, for a while, I was pretty proud of the other Kratos. But the more I thought about it, and the more I look back on it, the more I decided, like, you know what? Since the Ragnarok project is still going a little bit slow, let's see if we can try and remake this guy and see what we can get. And the end result of it just turned out super amazing. I'm really proud of this one. And it's also kind of a testament to, like, how far I've grown a little bit as a customizer. Again, we'll do sort of a compare and contrast between this Kratos and the other one that I made beforehand. So, as you guys know the drill, we're going to take this minifigure, do a whole review in it, explain the process, why we're just proud, and then go from there. Also, if you're curious about the background, I'm trying something new for the next, like, few episodes. So let me know in the comments if it works, or if not, we can just go back to the straight little black box. Now, without further ado, let's get the pedestal out and get the showcase on the road. So when it came to remaking Kratos, one of the techniques that I wanted to carry over from the Ragnarok project that I did was emphasize on Kratos' height. So, to give you an insight to how I did it, is basically, I really wanted to emphasize on how tall Kratos is. The man is basically 7 feet tall. He is massive. So I wanted to add it into a minifigure. So the base body that I used was a Woody minifigure, although I think it was actually a Mr. Fantastic minifigure that I used for this one. But I used it for the tall legs and the long arms to really emphasize on how tall Kratos really is. And it really worked in my favor, as it provided me more room to add more detailing on the arms and also expand more on the legs. Now, some other techniques that I did on this that you might be familiar with is the 3D printed stuff on the torso and the arms. I did the same technique how I did with Superman and Aquaman from my Justice League showcase, and I wanted to carry that over, as I felt that it was such a cool technique before, and also to emphasize more of with Kratos, not just his height, but also just how strong he is. So I took the body, and so I took the torso body and pretty much left it as it was, except added some Procreate clay around, like, the muscle indent and the muscle detailing that they have all around. I even sculpted out the abdomen, and I did the full abdomen, but I probably didn't have to in the end. And then, as you can see, it's like covered up with some pieces of tape here and there, but it still worked out in my favor, as this really turned out good. He's got some articulation in his legs, though not too much because of the skirt, which we'll get to in a bit. His arms do have articulation, and thankfully do not chip away any of the paint or the detailing, especially on the sides. A bonus with using a minifigure like this, because the arms are at a slight distance between that and the waist, there's enough room to where you can put some tape or even some fabric on there and have just enough of a room with a little bit of sanding just in case, but just enough room to where you can move on and have the detailing on here and it wouldn't chip away, and it came out really good. Some stuff that I did carry over from the previous Kratos that I wanted to use was the chains. And it's the chains, of course, like, he's got the chain wrists on both sides of the arms, and this time I even added chains on the legs. I really wanted to double check on the legs, because it turns out I got them inaccurate. In fact, let's get another Kratos out here to really show you guys the difference in this one. So this is the old Kratos that I did, and right off the bat, you can see the insane difference between these two. Like, the detailing is much more polished, much more clean. There's a lot more room in each of the sides. Like the detailing on the golden fleece, he says, well, I'm super proud of that, which we'll come back to that in a second. And I didn't include the Hermes boots this time, as I just wanted to focus on the overall image on this Kratos. I wasn't really concerned about doing the other extra stuff, but I still have them. I'll have them up in storage. But you can just see the insane difference between them. This one, it was okay at the time, but in comparison to this one, it's way cleaner, way more detailed, and way more accurate, which I'm super proud of that. This turned out really awesome. really awesome. Some other stuff that I did like about it. The head, I used a different head this time. I used a Superman head this time, and and just painted around. I decided to have him give the angrier expression because young Kratos is all about the rage. So I really felt that it was a good expression for this one. And I'm really proud how it came out because these are the cleanest eyes I have ever painted on a minifigure. Like, because in the past when I've done that, I've always managed to like paint in the eye sockets, but when I did the little white dots, they either came out extremely tiny, or too big, and it would obscure the rest of the paint. This one, not only does it look cleaned, but it actually makes the face a face that is, this is how it came out. I'm super proud of it, and super satisfied with it. And also adding more onto it, the body tattoo, as we saw with the other one, quick comparison back here. The body tattoo on this one is a bit messy. I wasn't really accurate with this one. This one, I first traced out the whole body tattoo, and traced it all the way around this figure, all the way from the back of the head, all the way to the shoulder, and then went back in with some red paint, and filled in the tattoo, and it turned out amazing. It's so good. I'm so fucking proud of it. Anyways, now moving on to the rest of the figure. The only downside I think with this one would be the detailing on this one, as I tried to get the detailing that Kratos has on his skirt, but it's so small on a minifigure. It's so tiny, I wasn't able to fully get it in, so I had to make a couple of cuts here and there, but the overall idea is still there. What I'm really proud of, though, is also the golden fleece. Now, with the last one you saw that I basically just drew it on with a Sharpie and covered it with some clear coat and called it a day. This one, I actually went the extra mile and basically carved it out as best as possible. This took various layers of Procreate clay. I used a little bit of electric tape with some paper on to do sort of like the bands to attach the armor onto the arm. I did have to go back and do some drilling and then cut out tiny pieces of clay and then carefully just place them onto the armor pieces, painted up in gold, and watered down some red paint to splash it in as like the blood stains that he has on the piece, as on the armor piece, and then colored that in, and it came out amazing. I'm so proud of how this turned out. Again, it's just so cool. And finally, with the last little bits here, we have the Blades of Chaos. It's a Chaos this time. I know I said this was the God of War 3 Kratos, but I don't have any other blades to do like the Blades of Exile. And plus, I feel like the Blades of Chaos are way more iconic, and would just fit perfectly, especially these ones. I got these ones from Brick Affliction, as a while back he did a God of War bundle release in celebration for God of War Ragnarok, and it was a character pack of Kratos and Thor together. I don't know if he still has it on his website. I'll include a link in the description so you can check it out. There's also his Instagram, so you can also double check with him. But I purchased a pack that at the time I just wanted to use a little shield for the Ragnarok Kratos, but it also came in with these blades. That I thought looked way more accurate to how they originally looked in the classic games, as the games ended Ragnarok. I had these in storage and decided, you know what, we can go ahead and use these, and these turned out really good, except though one problem, I think it's solely because of like the hands they were built for, because they also came with custom hands, but the handles are very loose. Like I had to dip these in like clear nail polish just to provide some extra girth into them and make sure that they wouldn't fall off, because one of them kept constantly falling out of the hand, but it's still an awesome design regardless. Like overall, it's really, really cool. I know that I'd say like one thing that I definitely did like about with this Kratos was adding in the chains to give the idea that he could like swing the blades around. But with this one, I wanted to like keep it as clean as possible, and decided I'm not sure like how it would turn out in the end of adding in on the chain and then figuring out like how to attach it onto here, onto those blades without damaging them. It still came out good in the end though, which I am proud of that. And yeah, overall, I can't stop saying it, but this is really, really impressive. Like in the beginning, I didn't really have any plans to remake this figure, but now looking at it, this is a really awesome custom. and it's probably going to be one of my favorites. One of my favorites this year. Like, it just turned out so good, and I'm so proud of it in the end. And there we go. That is going to be it for this episode of LEGO Arts. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm just going to say that this is the second best Kratos minifigure that I've ever made. The first one is still is being on with Ragnarok, but we're going to get to that guy in a few later episodes. For now, though, this is just so amazing. I can't stop saying it because I'm genuinely proud of how this figure turned out. From the detailing on the sculpting, all of it was just so incredible, and it really shows the skills that I've learned over the years as a customizer. Like, this is one of the few times where, like, I look back at the projects and I realized, oh my god, I've come a long way since then. And then, like, this turned out to be a really fun figure, and I'm really proud of how it turned out in the end. It was so cool. It was so cool to make. And with the next episodes, as I said before, the next episode is going to be Noble Team, which at first was finished, but there's a couple of minor stuff that I need to fix up, and then they'll be good to go. Benny and the Dark Revival is still under construction, as I've just begun working on both Arlie, and the Slicer. I'm still waiting on some parts, for some of the other figures, but rest assured, it is underway. On an update with the Ragnarok project, I just finished up Tyr's Temple, so it's good to go. And I think I have an idea on how I want to make the mountains. I'm gonna experiment around with it and see how it goes. But rest assured that the showcases are coming along really good. I was just having trouble figuring out, like, what I wanted to do for the episode after Power Rangers, and I felt that this was a good one to do, and I'm really glad that I did it. And I can't stop saying it, but this turned out amazing, and I'm super proud of this figure. And overall, that is going to be it. Yeah, so if you guys would like to see more videos like this in the future, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification to really help us work on live streams, like products, and have some fun. Also, let me know if this new setup of, like, recording of, like, image in the background, let me know if that works. If not, we can switch back to the black box and the little black box section. But that is going to be it. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, hit that like button, comment below what you think, share it with your friends, subscribe to me on YouTube, follow me on Twitch, and thank you guys for the time. What are you guys, Moon Rising?